Right, we're live. Right, everybody, welcome to another TRB success interview this morning. Nice and early. I'm joined by Lee Denton, who's a fellow business owner. He's just completed about a week ago the Back and Control Blueprints, got some great results, and he's going to share his journey. So hopefully give you some insight to what's possible when you've got the right methods and systems in place for a busy man such as Lee. So Lee, if you just want to get started with a quick introduction about you, business, family life, etc., and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I turned 40 back in February. Set up a business 2.5 years ago on my own as a limited company, but more in a consultant role. Middle of last year, so I got an opportunity to set up a second business with a couple of lads I'd known, and sort of drive that early doors while they got themselves sort of into a position where they could jump on board with it. From November time, found myself really struggling with trying to juggle two businesses, both sort of with full-time demands, but then also trying to juggle time for myself, time for my family, and my head just became foggy. Couldn't concentrate on anything in particular. Was constantly spinning plates. Was constantly jumping between things, shuffling things, and didn't really feel like I actually achieved anything. I just felt like I'd always left everything sort of half done. Couldn't put myself 100% into anything.
Hmm.
It was always just a sort of a shadow of myself, just sort of skimming between things, really.
So having multiple businesses, it sounds great, but actually the reality is it's very hard.
It was tough, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the starting up, my first business was successful. There was just me involved in that one, but starting up a second business, which we knew would always be a bigger business, one where we'd have to employ staff, one where there was more of us involved in it from a day to day, and one where we'd be sort of increasing our turnover quite quickly. It was a different challenge and not something that I've been used to.
Hmm.
I found myself working my full-time shift on my day on me first sort of business, spending my evenings working on my second business, to a point where I was burnt out. Wasn't sleeping properly, constantly my head was going all the time. Um, and yeah, it was just hard to sort of get any control back into my life.
Hmm. I think you said like fight or flight. Was that right? That was
Yeah,
you? Yeah. Fight or
I,
flight every
I,
morning.
I felt like I was constantly running on adrenaline,
Hmm.
uh, to a point where I was sort of like shaking through the day. I'd get up first thing in the morning, I'd run adrenaline for the full working day, and then in the evening while I was working as well. And then I get to a night, go to sleep, crash, wake up, repeat again.
There's
And
only
then
so long that train can go before it just goes
it
smash.
is,
Yeah.
it was constantly wearing us out. I just felt fatigued all the time. I felt tired, not getting great sleep with having a little one as well. Um, and yeah, it just got to a point where I just felt like I was wrecked.
Hmm. And then in terms of like health, fitness, and diet, etc., can you explain like what you were doing around that? Like
Yes.
what was the limitations and struggles?
So I'm a I'm a keen golfer, but over the past couple of years, I've not played as much as I wanted to. Got myself into a bit of a routine of doing too much work, prioritizing other things.
It's like 4 hours of time in it. So you're like, have I really got the time to play golf anymore? I've got to do this, this, and this.
It is. It's a big chunk, and then even on a night where I used to go out on a night for a couple of hours to just do 8 or 10 holes, I'd knock that on the head, and it was down to try to fit too much in, and then also having the feeling of guilt as well.
Yeah.
And I was doing it because I'd spent so much time doing work. I should have been spending time with my family or my little and friends, and sort of try to juggle them other bits and pieces. So golf became something that just dwindled.
Yeah.
Lost a bit of an appetite for it, and couldn't really be that bothered with it.
Yeah. It's one of them sports as well. If you're not on it, like, and you're good because you're good. Well, comparison to me, you're good. But if you're not on it, like it's easy to see in it because you get it
Yeah,
rusty straight away. Yeah.
that's you get rusty, but then because you're not playing often, you go out there with an expectation that you should be as good as when you
Yeah.
were good. And you don't. You go out there, you play badly, you feel even worse about yourself, and think, "Oh, I'm not going back." and you just get into a bit of a downer about it all,
Yeah.
and then you don't put the practice in, so you don't actually get any better because you haven't got the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a goal. I was a keen runner, not particularly long distance, but I used to like getting out for running, normally on a morning, just try and bang 5K in before work, that type of thing. But again, I'd knocked that on the head. I hadn't got time for that,
Mm.
and I just sort of let myself. I normally used to have a basic level of fitness where I could off the bat just get up and go out and run 5K. I'd lost that. Got to a point where I had no motivation to do it. Um, wasn't running, hadn't been to the gym in years, wasn't playing golf, and just got into a bit of a rut of sort of. It was more of a plateau of my fitness. It just got to a lower level. I thought, right, okay, we'll just keep it like that. And then you find yourself blaming it on your age.
Yeah, I
And
hear that all the time. I'm like, I mean, I
you
can't
know,
really say anything because I'm 32, but yeah, it's still an excuse, really, isn't it? It's all about priorities, and
it is. And then when you get your act together and you sort of go to the program, and you realise actually I've still got the abilities to do that. You just have to make time to do it, and you just have to keep on top of it.
yeah,
Uh,
and then obviously, sedentary lifestyle then tends to come with bad eating habits
yeah,
because that's where you're finding comfort and happiness to a degree, aren't you? So, can you
that's it.
explain what that looked like for you, nutrition back then?
Yeah, so my dinners would be meal deals. Nothing, not great. Big sandwich, probably a pack of three if I could, because
On the go,
yeah,
get the
on
most
the
for your
go,
money.
pack of three sandwiches, packet of crisps, fizzy drink, and on an evening it was whatever I could fit in between what I was doing. It became a time where it was a lot of just I couldn't be asked, and it was something between bread. Was for oh, I can't be asked. I'll just bang a couple of chicken burgers between bread. Something that isn't really nutritious, doesn't really fill a gap. It's just quite high in calories, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. It wasn't a balanced diet, and I got to stick off the missus all the time. You should be eating veg. You should be eating more veg. You should be eating more fruit. This, that, and the other. And I just sort of tossed it aside. And
Just becomes an afterthought, doesn't it? It's like, oh, well, I'll just get that. Like, it
yeah,
is what it is.
easy food to reach for. And
Yeah.
with us having the little, and it was we had quite a few takeaways and this, that, and the other. And we go to it was pizzas, and I'd normally have it. If I was going to takeaway, I get a big pizza, so I might as well. And
And you're surrounded by great food.
yeah,
There's some
yeah,
lovely places around here.
there is, and
Yeah.
you, it's very easy to get a takeaway when you can't be asked on night, or when you lose the time on night, and it's just piling in
Yeah.
calories that you didn't need.
Yeah.
You don't have the capacity for with what you've already eaten for your fairly poor dinner.
Mm. So that led you to being, well, since we've seen the results, you've got like 20 pounds overweight, which I didn't realize you had that much to lose. I don't know if you did. Because that,
No, one of the things I didn't really come into the course thinking I want to lose a chunk of weight.
yeah, yeah.
Came in thinking I want to clean my head up. I want to get myself back into a better mind space and find the time for the right things, prioritize things correctly, and everything like that. Weight loss, although I felt like I was bordering on the next size up in tops and my waist was getting a little bit bigger, I never really looked at myself and thought, oh, you need to lose a load of weight here.
Right.
But
So that
now
wasn't a
that I have,
priority. Yeah.
I realised that I did have that weight to lose.
Mm.
And now that I'm sort of, I've seen the results over the past 12 weeks, I think, yeah, well, I probably should have put a bit of an effort in earlier doors to try and get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because
So
the dad bod was grown and it was
yeah.
getting from what used to be a comfortable medium that was starting to get a little bit snug on the waist and felt like you're breathing in quite a bit to try and make yourself look all right.
Mm. Before we get into the results, so basically I was out with my missus on a Friday night and I got this random message on LinkedIn. It was you. You popped up. I just want to know what was going through your head at that point to reach out because a lot of men struggle with that. What was the
Yes.
like, right, I need to just fucking do something about this. You remember?
I'd seen your details on LinkedIn, and a friend of mine had already been through the program.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil for inspiring you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, new business owner. Um, sounded like when I watched his testimonial, sounded like he was going through similar issues to what I was.
Mm.
Um, and it got to a point with me where family life was getting a bit fraught. I was snappy. I was miserable.
Mm.
Not a nice person to be around. And it wasn't the reflection of who I was. It wasn't who I wanted to be seen as, and it wasn't. I didn't want things at home to get that bad. And it was. It's not something that I've ever had to sort of admit to myself before. It was one of the things where everything's getting on top of you, and you think, I've got to take action here, because if I don't, I'm either going to mess up my family life, or I'm going to end up messing up my head, or I'm going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And
And
it
then you
was,
mess up the business as well. So everything that you care about could potentially crumble if you don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
that's it. They felt like the business was sort of the building blocks, and everything else was sat on top of it. And if I'd messed the business up, then the whole life went. Well, actually, the more important things were my family and spending the right time with them, but also allocate my time properly, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So,
it was just a sort of a watch the testimonials, saw a few videos about how things were and what you do, and thought, sod it, let's give it a go. And what have I got to lose?
yeah.
I don't make many investments in myself, so I might as well make the biggest one now at this stage.
All right. That leads us on nicely to the 90 days itself. So what do you think specifically worked well for you? Maybe 2 or 3 things that maybe you could give some advice to others to try as well,
So,
so that see some value in this testimonial.
so the big change for me, I think, started with the a couple of the weekly plans that we did. The giving myself targets each week, giving myself a bit of drive to do something, rather than getting the end of the week and go, well, done now this week, and find excuses for it. I've got a set of things that I feel like I have to achieve, and there's a bit of a pressure on me to achieve it, because I've entered this program and I don't want to get to the end of 12 weeks and think, well, you've let yourself down there. So having that sort of that list of targets, and then at the end of the week also celebrating your goals, your wins as well. It was something which I've not had before, which really helped me along the journey.
Yeah, it reinforces the positive actions you take, and like shit. And as you know, at the start, very slow. We build the habit slowly, and then it just snowballs, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then there's the sort of the weekly the documents that sort of what are they called?
Yeah, mindset models.
The mindset models that we were doing as well.
Yeah.
They give you a lot more. If you're writing things down and then you're speaking through them, you realize a lot better what has been going on in your own head. When you keep everything bottled up, and don't really speak to anyone about anything, or don't put anything down on paper, it's easy to jump to your own conclusions, give yourself your own excuses. Where writing things down a bit of paper and realizing, actually, I've been a bit of a dick there, or I need to improve that, or I can't believe that's so low out of 10, or I've been prioritizing that. It gives you
awareness.
A really good insight into how you've been and what you need to change.
Yeah.
So for me, they were two of the big things from the start that I found I had a lot of benefit from. Then as we sort of went through the diet changes, and the introducing the fitness side of it as well, that helped me, but it also helped my family as well. Because the diet side of it, my wife's always tried to sort of try Slimming World, this, that, and the other, and I've always sort of shrugged it off and thought it's crap. Whereas this was something that she could get on board with as well, and it's become sort of a bit of a family journey rather than just my own. I've lost weight, she's lost weight, the little one's happy, and we've all sort of benefited from a few small changes in sort of fitness and diet, really. And she's now the person behind her backing her up, rather than the person behind her who would always just shrug it off and say, well, sure, you shouldn't be going on that.
Yeah. It just shows it all starts with you. You're the man of the house. You're the leader. So lead by example, and your family will participate as well, right? So
yeah, we both joined the gym as a dual membership, and got the little one involved as well, and we're sort of both reaping the rewards of it, really.
Yeah. So just to recap there, so having the process, goals and targets in place with the accountability each week, and then celebrating wins, reinforcing I'm actually doing this. This is working, and seeing the results boosts your motivation along the road.
Yeah.
And then what was the second thing you said?
The mindset models.
The mindset models, of course, put them in for awareness to really learn about yourself on a psychological level, why you're doing certain things, certain behavior patterns. And then, of course, we had the nutrition systems in place where you were eating out at restaurants still, right? You weren't
Yeah,
restricted or anything like that.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So even though we changed my lifestyle, my fitness, my eating habits, there's still the scope there to enjoy yourself, and there's still trips away, there's still night outs, still date nights, still bits and pieces that I still slotted in. I didn't go on a rad diet where it was all or nothing. You still had time to enjoy yourself. You still had time to bang a few calories in, but with the mindset that you knew, right, okay, I've done that. It's time to recover from that over the next few days and really sort of grind down to get back on track.
And although you only really need to know the basics, like I've invested a lot of money in education,
Mm-hmm.
you only really need to know the basics. And it does sound like you've learned quite a lot in
Yeah,
terms of
definitely.
just
Yeah.
the words that you use. And I've done this week, Chris. I've done this week, Chris. Like you've self-educated yourself, haven't you, really?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I've come out of it a lot clearer on a lot of things.
Yeah. Like just for reference, you're not going to track calories for the rest of your life, but what I believe in is like what you learn will last for the rest of your life. Like
Mm-hmm.
there'll come a point where you can just use your intuition. Like I can eyeball that. I know that's roughly got that calories in, so I'll probably not have that today. I'll have that instead. That's
Yeah,
probably where you're going to be in a few weeks' time, I would imagine.
that's it. I'll get to the end of the day and I think, right, okay, I had enough today. I don't need to reach for that bar of chocolate because chocolate was me. It was the worst. I could reach for a family-sized bar of chocolate and be gone in the night. I could reach for a box of matchmakers and they'd be gone in half an hour. And I was a picker. I'd, if there was chocolate in the fridge, it wouldn't be in the fridge for long. We've still got Easter eggs in the fridge now from the start of the course, and they'll start looking at me now at the corner of my eyes. I'm not drawn to them like I was. I know if I do eat them, I'll eat them. I'll have a tiny bit here and there,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to go and eat all of one in one night.
Yeah. So you've got a bit more self-control, hence the
Yeah,
back end
definitely.
control. Yeah. Right, awesome. And then let's talk about results. So I've already touched upon the weight loss wasn't a priority, but that's a side effect of all the habit changes that you make. So 20 pounds down, what else did you feel in terms of results and benefits?
Um, I felt a lot brighter, a lot less tired. I get up on a morning, I go and do my exercise, do a run, take the dog for a walk, go to the gym, whatever it was, and then I'd feel more zoned in for the rest of the day.
Mm,
Whereas before it was just a drag.
mm,
Um, get up, feel tired, go to work, come home, feel tired, go to bed, have a broken night's sleep, wake up and repeat it all.
yeah,
Whereas now I feel like I'm sort of more energized during the day.
good.
Try and get the exercise out of the way in the morning, go for a run, go to the gym, even
Yeah,
take
it's
the
a
dog for a
big
walk.
tick in the box in the morning. It sets you up. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. And uh, you do have that boost from it as well. So yeah, for me, the weight loss came as a result of me changing my fitness and my diet, but my fitness as well. I saw sort of big improvements in other things, like my heart rate dropped. So during the 10 weeks, I had my iWatch on and I was tracking all my fitness, and it keeps an eye on your heart rate across the whole 12 weeks. I think it was at about week 9 or week 10. I
Hmm.
sent you a message over saying, "Have you seen this?" And it was just a flash up on my screen saying, "Do you realise over the last 10 weeks your resting heart rate's come down 8 beats a minute?" Which was about 15%.
Yeah.
It was a massive jump, and that sort of at week 9 or 10, that gives you the extra impetus to think, Jesus, what I'm doing here is actually making a big difference to my health.
Mm,
And then there's the other ones of after my exercise, the recovery rates were increasing all the time, and it was seeing them little peaks in performance and fitness that get you driven and get you wanting to continue doing it.
mm,
A few blips along the way, a few little bugs and illnesses where I've had to sort of sit aside for a week. But when I've got back onto it and wanted to continue where I was.
mm.
I've seen results and so I feel a lot across my chest, my top half of my body. I feel a lot more toned. I think I've lost quite a bit of weight across my legs,
Yeah.
and then around the gut as well. You can start to feel like there's maybe some abs popping through.
Getting there. We're nearly.
Nearly there, but
Depends how much you want to push it.
that's it. Yeah. So it's a condition where I don't think I've been for a lot of years, probably since at least since I got married, which was 16 years ago.
Wow.
And from a sort of a size perspective, now dropped down from medium bordering on large on the t-shirts down to small.
Yeah.
Dropped down on me trousers from 34 bordering on 36 down to a 30/32 now. So it's big changes as well. Like you see when you're going out buying clothes and think, well, I'm going to spend half an hour here trying to work out what size clothes I am now.
That's one of the one of the things that you need to know if you're going to go on this journey. You'll need to buy a new wardrobe.
Yeah, your clothes start looking a bit baggier than what they used to.
And then what like that when you're feeling that good, you're back to your fit self, full of energy, two things that you really care about. How did that impact family life when you become this best version of yourself again?
I've had comments from my wife, and that was what sort of made me realise that sometimes you don't realise when you're going on a 12-week journey that you're changing. When you get comments during the journey to say, I don't think you've been as stressy this week, or you haven't been as snappy, or I feel like you've been nicer around us, or you haven't been as stressed, or you're not doing as much work on an evening, and these types of comments, it does make you realise that what you've been doing it's been picked up by the people that you live with and the people that care about you.
Yeah, they can feel that energy, can't they? Like if you're in a
Yeah,
terrible mood, they can just like, oh, what's happening to Dad today? He's in a foul mood.
that's it. And we'd end up bouncing off each other. I'd be in a foul mood, and it'd make my wife in a foul mood, and then we'd just end up in a bit of a stressy or argumentative state between us.
Yeah,
Whereas the last 12 weeks, it's been a lot different. It hasn't been like that. I've been able to sort of focus myself on spending time at night with my family rather than doing work. Um, there's been changes at work which have helped me do that. But that mindset of right, I need to switch off now. It's 5 o'clock, 5:30. I'm at home. It's time to sort family stuff out. That's been seen as a big difference by my family.
that's the difference in it, especially for business owners. We still got to switch off. We live and breathe our business, don't we?
Yeah, and if I do need to do any work, I'd do it after the little one's gone to bed, or if my missus has a little bit of work to do on a night, we try to sort of do it at the same time and make sure that we don't sort of cut down on the time we have together. Trying to arrange sort of date nights every month or every few weeks. Try to have a bit of time together. It's just little bits like that where we weren't doing it. We were neglecting our time, both for ourselves and for us as a couple without our daughter, but husband and wife time, which we haven't been getting.
Just the basic stuff that you forget about as your life's so fast paced and you're just waking up in the cycle doing the same thing every day. You forget to do the basics, don't you?
Yeah,
Actually enjoy life.
yeah, it's just Groundhog Day,
Yeah, that's the word, Groundhog Day.
and you're in the rut, and you prioritize all the wrong things, which is what I found myself doing.
Yeah. And then finally, just touch upon the benefits for, I guess, how you were showing up in business. Business was going well, but there was something one week where you've seen a noticeable behavior change. If you can remember, I think we're a bit more straightforward or a bit more decisive or something along them lines. Can you remember?
There was a change in a reaction.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
So with me constant sort of foggy mind and jumping between things, I used to find myself making snap emotional decisions and emotional responses to emails where if I sat and considered it and maybe considered a bit more rational response, it might go down better. And there was a moment where during the course I got an email through, and I started bashing at the keys thinking I need to respond to this now, I need to jump into it, and sort of took a moment and thought, actually no, I'll discuss this with me colleagues first, and we'll have an idea of how we're going to go back to this between us. And it worked out beneficial for us. I didn't go back and upset the apple cart. We spoke to a couple of other people, and it resulted in a completely different sort of set of results, rather than what could have happened was I upset the apple cart and we ended up in a bit of a poor relationship with the client.
Was that the one where you took out the middleman and you got the deal yourself?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
There you go. That split decision made all the difference. There you go.
And you get little wins like that where you don't necessarily think, or you wouldn't have necessarily classed that as being a win, but then when you look back at it and think, actually, the way I reacted there was completely different to how I would have reacted 12 weeks ago. It does make you sort of think, actually, I'm making some positive changes here.
And you did say, I remember now, that a bit more confidence in these big meetings to secure the deals that you got over the line.
Yeah, so I found myself with my head being all over the place. I wasn't really present in meetings. I was constantly, you end up in a bit of a state of self-doubt, and you end up, your confidence takes a battering, and you don't feel like you're going to represent yourself correctly in the meetings, or you feel like something that you might say might be misconstrued, or you don't want to come across as looking like you not confident, but also you haven't got your ability there.
Yeah.
Whereas the people I deal with always had that confidence in my ability. It wasn't like I had to go down the line of gaining that again.
Mm-hmm.
So where I was dealing with these both new and existing clients, my own self-confidence rose, and I found myself during the meetings being able to express myself a lot better without that more on your shoulder giving you that this isn't going to go well type of scenario. And yeah, I did notice that I sort of took the bull by the horns a little bit in the meetings, and yeah, found a better place with my confidence.
Awesome. And we'll not dive into the numbers, but as a result, business for a new business is going fantastic, right?
It's great, yeah. So yeah, second month of the financial year, we've already hit our annual turnover target. So
the reason I mentioned that, if there's any business owners watching this, hopefully there is, that's what can happen when you prioritize yourself, the business, family life. They're going to reap the rewards as well, which is what I said at the start, right?
Yeah, definitely. And within the business as well, we've taken on staff now. We've delegated work.
That was the big thing for you, wasn't it? Giving you that time and headspace back again.
That's it. New business, and there was just me from the start, and then the other couple of lads came on board. But then it was still juggling the two businesses until we could take on the staff.
Yeah.
And taking on the staff has allowed me to sort of delegate a bit of work elsewhere, clear my head, and concentrate on growing the business rather than concentrating on trying to drown.
Smashing. Right, what we'll do, we'll finish with any advice for instance, if there's a Lee who's watching this, struggling where you were 13 weeks ago now, what would your advice be to him?
Take the bull by the horns. Don't keep struggling. If you find yourself in Groundhog Day, if you find yourself miserable, stressed out all the time, prioritizing the business over your family, take steps now. I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought I'd be sat here doing a testimonial with Chris. And I didn't think I'd get the results. It was I started the course wanting to see a change. I didn't expect to see such a big change. And it all started by just a message to Chris, being inspired by what I'd seen before. Message to Chris, seeing what he could do, how he could help us out, if I was a good fit for the course. And going from there, I'd say it's probably one of the best things I've done.
Right, amazing. So if you are struggling, the hardest thing to do is to reach out for help for a man. But yeah, hopefully you're inspired by Lee's journey today. And yeah, thanks for giving us, I think, maybe 15, 20 minutes there.
No, yeah, fine.
And,
thanks for helping us out with the last 12 weeks.
You're welcome. And just to confirm, because I lost track of my days and weeks, obviously having a newborn daughter, we are playing golf this Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Right.
Sunday.
I haven't played golf for a year, and Lee's a dab hand at golf, so fucking hell, this is going to be fun.
It'd be interesting. It really costs, so at least we'll get a decent workout.
Yeah. Right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Next one. Cheers.